It's not just how you solve a problem, but it's how you select the problem to solve. That is in itself its own kind of solution. And I want to discuss this today a little bit. I want you to think about problems that you have found, like the correct problem that you found, like my life is in total chaos. Therefore, I'm going to do exercise, or I'm going to do there's a variety of solutions, but maybe there's a more fundamental problem, like I'm not keeping track of what it is I do, and I just need to journal. So it's kind of like finding the problem within the problem in order to apply the exact right solution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the basic theory of this. I would love for you to think about problems that you have discovered that you didn't know before, that you've also come up with a solution for. And I'm going to walk through how we have discovered problems for our merchants over the past 2 years in this pilot in Western North Carolina, where we're located way out in the very, very western county, Cherokee County of Western North Carolina, just north of Atlanta and Knoxville and Chattanooga and Asheville. They surround us. So that's where we're solving problems here, and that's where we're finding problems to solve. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you the cover of this book, because this book I've been reading for the past 2 weeks or so. It's called To Sell is Human, and it's full of research and insights about the kind of mind-changing, like what you think is true is not actually true. It's completely different than you expect. And the chapter that I read last night that I really want to talk about today is about finding the right problem. So the concept behind finding the right problem is that there's a set of assumptions about what the problem might be, but maybe those assumptions are incorrect. Like the assumptions that lead you to the solution are incorrect. Like the problem is I don't have a vacuum cleaner because but I have a dirty floor and I don't have a vacuum cleaner, as an example. But maybe your ceiling is, there's dust coming off your ceiling, and you're not aware of that problem. So if you buy a vacuum cleaner to solve the problem of not having a vacuum cleaner, you're not solving the more core problem of, you're not solving the more core problem of having dust all over your floor, which is really at the end of the day what you want to do. You want to eliminate that dust. So you have to find the right problem to solve. The problem in that situation would be like, your ceiling needs to be repainted or refinished because there's dust falling down or whatever. So that's kind of an example of finding the right problem. Now, what we've been doing here in Western North Carolina in a personal, like our pilot was in-person sales by myself. My name's Tobin. I run the Virtual Storefronts technology pilot here in Western North Carolina in a small community with 1,700 people in this town and another 1,700 over in Murphy. We're talking very small towns that are not super technology penetrated. They aren't like saturated with technology. And what we wanted to do was introduce our solution to their problem of not having a website and see what they discovered in terms of get feedback from them and figure out what the whole set of problems was, and then develop the technology over 2 years in order to solve an entire set of problems so that there's a complete solution to a problem that a lot of these business owners never knew they had. I'm sure in your work or in your life, there's some kind of problem that you've discovered that you found out that wasn't the original problem. And I would encourage you to enter that and, write in comments, because this is a good opportunity to brainstorm and for other people to hear about what your problem that you solved is. Put it in comments, and then people can discuss how you discovered that problem and what the solution to that problem is. So without further ado, I'm going to walk through these various problems. So the first problem is that you need a website to be found in Google search. That's the problem that Google gave to you. And so obviously the solution to that problem is get a website. Now I'm going to do a search in Google right here. It's jeans in Andrews, North Carolina. It's a local item that I'm doing a local search here. I'm obviously going to get Walmart. I'm going to get Amazon. Normally, without virtual storefronts, you're going to get all kinds of corporate results. Now, what you see here, where we come in, is virtual storefronts is a top result here, informing the local viewer, the local shopper, that there's actually a local option to buy jeans here. That's intercepting the local shopper, and it's doing what a website would normally do, except that the virtual storefront is a proxy standing in for that business's website. So Taylor at Rain Boutique does not have a website, and she never wanted a website. What she wanted was search results, right? She didn't want the website. She wanted the results from the website. So what we did is we found the problem. The problem is that people want search results from websites, but then they also don't want a website. So that is how virtual storefronts is kind of finding the right problem and solving it using search. So here we have an example of someone who does not have a website, and they are found in search. It's a complete solution to that problem. It's actually more effective than most websites, because a website that's really effective at search requires a huge amount of effort and all of that building that you don't have to do. The second problem, which is related to the first problem, I want to be found in search, is that you need to build your own website, right? Like this whole notion, essentially it's a problem that Google gave to every business. Do you want to be found? Do you want to be found online? Well, you are now tasked with this gargantuan job that's very expensive, that's tech heavy, that's a headache to do. And that job is build your own website. And the people who develop the algorithms that find keywords are all white collar corporate workers at Google. And what they're doing is, and what their entire set of rules, just like lawyers, like their entire set of rules is for other engineers at Target and Walmart and Amazon to ingest and like spend their full-time job. It has nothing to do with a mom and pop operation, but a mom and pop operation is commonly told, hey, you got to go build your website. So if we look here, we see at the bottom, this is your website right here. There's your website. What is your website? Your website's a tiny little ship, right? So you are in an ocean of the internet, and there's this tiny little ship that's your website, and it's very hard to be found because, well, you're tiny, but Google has convinced you that you must build your own from the ground up. And then there's a web designer, a webmaster, a web builder who's going to come along and say, hey, guess what? You see all these skyscrapers that you want to be, these big search results up here? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to come by your boat, and we're going to come up next to your boat, and we're going to like, create some concrete foundations underwater and build all this, like create this huge infrastructure that's very expensive in order to do the same job. So it's like you're building your own, architecture, like web architecture. That is a completely unreasonable job. And that's why 2 out of 3 businesses in our pilot do not have websites, because they have rejected the job that Google has given them in order to be found. Now, that right there is this whole idea that you have to build your own skyscraper. That's a problem, right? And that's the problem that we solve. That's a very critical problem for these businesses because they don't have the time to do it. There's 2 or 3 people. What we do is we say, hey, everyone is going to can come together in virtual storefronts, and then they work together, like all the businesses work together in order to be found, so that it's a large archive of keywords. It's this kind of like virtual version of Main Street with thousands of keywords that's hovering above Cherokee County. So that right there is, we found the problem, which is, we found the problem, which is, oh, you got to build your own website. But the obvious solution, it's like, oh, I don't have a website. So the solution is going to be, oh, we're going to build a website. Well, we found a completely different solution because we're looking at the problem in a completely different way. We're looking at the problem that we found is that businesses aren't banding together to become massive. And that is a much better solution. And that's what happens on virtual storefronts. You'll see here, this is our home screen where there's a live feed at all times. You'll see here, this number, 11,785, that's how many items are in the database. So this is a very large presence. And each of these individual businesses by themselves are these tiny little boats, right? But together, there's thousands of them. And this technology is designed to incorporate businesses, thousands of businesses from coast to coast. So it'll become much larger. There will be millions of keywords inside this database. The cost, again, is $199. That's another problem that we have to solve, is getting people to believe that that's possible. So here's another problem that we've discovered that is kind of an unquestioned assumption. It's like finding this particular problem. The problem is that big tech has this their entire business model is based on the business owner logging in and basically wasting an hour on Facebook because they're distracted. Because, like, if they get in there, let's say that a business owner gets on Facebook and it's very easy to post to their page. It takes them no time. They get in and out of there in 5 minutes. They get their business done. They aren't distracted. Well, that's 5 minutes of advertising revenue that Google gets from that business owner. And Google needs to earn, just to keep the lights on, $280 million a day. So they have no interest in that business owner going on for 5 minutes and then leaving and just getting their business done. Meta and Facebook, their goal is to waste the time of the user so that it's like television. It's just advertising. So if they stay on for 50 minutes because they're distracted, then Meta will get 10 times the revenue, which is what they need to pay their $280 million per day bill. So that is a huge problem, which is that in order to use the technology that where all of these business owners, where they're found, where their customers are found, in order to go and use that technology, they're being sucked into this time wasting trap, and also this trap of like make engaging content, make it very interesting, et cetera, where they're in an Olympics for, content engagement, which they didn't really sign up for. So our answer to that is essentially, why not reduce the amount of time. I'm going to stop the share here for a second. Why not reduce the amount of time that people need to go onto the technology that's communicating with the public and make it more efficient? And the way that we've done that is we've completely solved the problem of needing the attention of the merchant. We don't even need time from our customers exactly. What we need is for everyone to interact, and what we say is engagements at the register, right? So what we want is for people to go on. This is our live feed right here. We want people to go onto the live feed, see what business, click on one of these businesses, see what's at the business, and then go there and make a purchase. Contact them, make a purchase. We say that our engagement's measured at the register because each of these businesses pays us to drive traffic to their business in real life. This is not e-commerce. So we are completely liberated from this attention economy. That is a problem that we have found and discovered, and now, boom, there it is. It's gone. So that what we've done actually to take it one step further in this is to actually automate these posts. So these posts, each business gets 3 posts per week, and they are what's called evergreen content, and they go and they automatically post for that business because it's 2023. Like, automation is like, that's pre-computers. Automation is the 1910s, for goodness sakes. Facebook doesn't provide this kind of automation to you, does not streamline your experience, because you as a business owner or merchant are just another set of eyeballs to sell advertising to. You have unaligned goals. Facebook's goal is not to get you to get your work done quickly. Facebook's goal is to take up your time. So that is a huge problem that we've found discovered and kind of designed technology to address. So, and our business model being what it is, allows us to, it allows us to the freedom to not be part of that attention economy and to save time and be an enterprise solution for our merchants and be a simple announcement venue for our shoppers who can follow all of these businesses within their own town. So without further ado, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to a share. So a classic problem, this is not exactly like, rocket science finding the right problem in general, but a classic problem is, of course, cost. And that is a continuous problem that our merchants have to deal with. And that's a problem that we've solved as well by essentially making our product $199 a year, including setup. It simply addresses this kind of these kinds of costs that you're seeing on this slide with, setting up the whole building your own organism issue. There's no domain registration. There's all of that hassle is done. So we have a very low cost product. Now, the next problem that we have is, since we're talking about problems, is people are like, how can you possibly do that and make money? And the answer is that we have 20 million businesses that can participate in this local marketing solution that is kind of like, it's soup to nuts. It's the whole package of local marketing, and it's $199 a year. So, and as each one onboards, if we go back here, each one onboards, this number grows, and this web presence becomes larger and larger and more effective at marketing. So the way that we can provide this at $199 per merchant, which seems like a very unbelievable and low price, is that by working together, all of these businesses, this is the first 50 businesses and QR codes directly to all of these businesses, by working together, these businesses make it possible to have a network, and it makes it, and we are enabled to share the work. Many hands make light work. So that's kind of the long and short of it. And at the end of the day, when you're a tech company and you're creating networks are kind of abundance for all. It's the dream of the 90s. A network that can really benefit a lot of the users together. And if you look at the most important innovations or what's the stickiest, as they say, parts of technology, it's when people work together inside of a network. And those benefits can be shared with the public when you do it at scale. And that's what we're doing here at Virtual Storefront. So I'm going to stop that share. I want you to include the problem, the unexpected problem that you've found, and the solution, if you would like, in comments. And I would encourage you to visit virtualstorefronts.co, which is this is our page of explanation and sales page. It's easy to understand at a glance. If you want to get in depth, these videos take you in depth. This explains the problems and how we solve them. It's just a single page, shows our media presence. Here's our stats. There's what we're doing is revolutionary, and I encourage you, if you're a merchant, you can go here, check it out, look at these stuff yourself, watch some of these videos for yourself, and see if we have found a problem that we can help you solve that you may or may not have known specifically about having. So thanks for watching. That website, by the way, is virtualstorefronts.co. That's our sales and information page. Virtualstorefronts.com is the app, and anyone can sign up on the .com as a shopper and create a shopper account for free and follow any town that is on Virtual Storefronts. You can follow the entire town, and you can follow individual businesses on the live feed. Thanks for watching. My name is Tobin. If you have any questions, just write them in comments. And until next time, this has been Tech Market Insights. I've really enjoyed being here with you, and I look forward to the next episode. Have a great holiday.